Which brings us on to CM Punk. Now, in an interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin nearly a decade ago, Vince McMahon flat out turned around and said that the door was open for CM Punk because he had mended fences with the likes of Hogan, Warrior, and Stone Cold Steve Austin himself. In fact, I believe this interview took place in 2014, shortly after Punk left. So it would be 9 years now. It's been 9 years, over 9 years, since CM Punk wrestled for the WWE. In fact, when we get to the Royal Rumble, it will be a decade since CM Punk walked out on the company. Now, Ari Emanuel and Nick Khan are all about business, and CM Punk has a good business relationship with the guys on the UFC side of things. Obviously, now this is one company. It is TKO. Endeavor own the UFC. Endeavor have partnered up with WWE to form TKO. And when CM Punk was involved with Endeavor, when he was involved in UFC, he had a good relationship with Ari Emanuel, had a good relationship with Dana White. And these guys have absolutely no issue with bringing CM Punk in. Neither does Vince McMahon, because he said so himself. And nothing that happened at AEW has any relevance whatsoever. In fact, anybody that you speak to within the WWE who's spoken to people that are already at AEW, including Cody Rhodes, know that CM Punk is almost blameless for what happened over there. So as bad as it may look on the internet, and as bad as the bullshit that Dave Meltzer's coming out with, and despite the fact that Tony Khan came out and said he feared for his life because he's a coke sniffing pussy, the WWE do not believe internally that CM Punk was a part of that problem. Now, CM Punk's not been forgiven entirely for what he did while he was at the WWE, and CM Punk was also difficult to communicate with even as late as 5 years ago when he was involved with Fox, because Fox badly wanted him to return to the WWE. And the WWE were not so keen on it, but they were willing to talk to Punk. And it was Punk who was difficult to get into those conversations with the WWE. The only time Punk was interested in talking to the WWE was to tell them that he had an offer from AEW and was basically fishing around to see if WWE would match it. But WWE had absolutely zero interest in paying Punk $5 million per year. And the WWE still don't have any interest in paying him $5 million a year. But the good thing is, CM Punk doesn't want it. CM Punk is willing to return to the WWE for a fraction of that, probably around about a third of that money, to do something with the WWE, providing it is a part-time deal. And a part-time deal is what will be suitable to all parties. Now, I understand that one of the key things from the business point of view, so when you're looking at Ari Emanuel and you're looking at Nick Khan, is to keep this momentum going. They don't want any kind of negative momentum. And you're probably sitting there thinking, well, that means they don't want to sign CM Punk. Well, it's the opposite, because they are on a strong run of pay-per-views or PLEs that have been positively received by the mainstream media and via the ticket sales. And they are very, very wary now that Chicago could elicit a negative crowd response based on the fact that many people want to see CM Punk turn up for that show. As soon as CM Punk was released finally from AEW or fired, there was an immediate microscope on this Chicago Survivor Series event. And despite the fact that Ari Emanuel and Nick Khan don't want to be involved creatively, they do have an awareness enough, because they are top tier business people, and know that this could lead to a negative reaction. They are also aware of the fact that the WWE have had previous political issues with CM Punk. They know all of the history. But if CM Punk isn't coming back to the WWE, why are my sources telling me that members of the roster were questioned about how they feel about CM Punk coming back to the company? In addition to that, what I've been told is that there's a vast majority of people do not care if CM Punk returns to the company. And let me explain why. The WWE, compared to 2014 and now, is a very, very different place. And there is a heightened awareness among people in the company that know that they will barely see CM Punk if he returns to the company. A vast majority of people on the salary that CM Punk would get if he was to return to WWE all have their own tour buses, all have a different call time, and are barely seen in and around the arena. I've spoken to wrestlers about the possibility of my son getting another opportunity to meet Roman Reigns, because Roman Reigns, we had that one very, very cool interaction with a year ago. But since then, obviously, there's a lot more Roman Reigns merchandise out. My son is currently collecting the Mattel Ultimate Edition figures. And he's got an Ultimate Edition Roman Reigns and a Roman Reigns Funko Pop with 2 titles that he wants to get signed. And I've basically been told it's impossible, not backstage or at the hotel, because Roman's situation means that he stays sometimes in a different hotel, or he stays in the top part of the WWE hotel and is escorted in privately via a service lift. Nobody sees Roman Reigns in the hotel, and when he arrives at the arena later than everybody else, he's kept in a private area where only Roman Reigns' opponent goes to see him to finalize whatever they are doing. So that is the situation of Roman Reigns. It's also a similar situation for the likes of Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, and CM Punk would be exactly the same. There would be no way for there to be any kind of significant conflict with CM Punk, unless that conflict was with the higher ups and it would be about creative issues. CM Punk isn't coming in on a full-time deal, staying in the hotel with the boys, traveling on the coach with the upper mid-card talent, and everybody knows it and everybody accepts that, despite the fact that he hasn't been there for almost 10 years. CM Punk isn't coming in on the same deal as the guys who are there week after week, and that's life, and they're used to it. They got used to it with Brock, they're used to it with Roman, and they're used to it with more and more people. That's what they've got used to. Cody Rhodes just came in from AEW after doing nothing in the WWE during his previous run and turned up with $3 million, a tour bus, and a monster guaranteed push. That's just the way it is with WWE, because business is business, and bringing in CM Punk is good for business. And it's certainly good to avoid a negative crowd response in Chicago. So my understanding at this point in time is that there is an offer for CM Punk that appeals to all parties.